This time, let us proceed on telecommunications. So, it is now under the communication security. So, simply, pag sinabi po kasing telecommunications, it pertains to distant communications. So, yan, pag kinuha kasi ang root word na tele means, yung tele, it means far. Okay? So, it is or it pertains to distant communication. So, how do we communicate in a distance? Okay, or how can we communicate kahit nasa malayo yung mga kausap natin? So, simply through the use of electronic devices na meron tayo ngayon. So, yan, paano po ba yan? So, through the use of cell phones, through the use of phones, smartphones, through the use of computer, internet, social media, and any other means. Okay, electronic device or electronic means na meron po tayo. So, cover po yan ng telecommunications. So, hindi po lamang yan limited sa voice-to-voice communication or oral communication. Okay, or oral or distant communication. So, yan po ay kasama din written. Okay, it's either written or printed matter pati po yan. Kasi meron tayo yung ginagawa natin sa activity niyo, di ba? So, yun, ang ginagawa ninyo, pinipicturean ninyo yung written output ninyo and then you send it through the use of internet or through the use of data signal. So, yun, that is considered or that is under still telecommunications or it is covered under telecommunications. So, take note of that. It could also include written or printed matters, not only limited to the music or the oral or any audible signals na meron tayo. So, yan po yung tinatawag natin na telecommunications. So, now we have here the so-called broadcasting. So, simply here in broadcasting, we refer to the transmission over the air of commercial or radio messages or television messages through the use of network or through the use of signals or not frequencies na tinatawag nila in electronic or in electrical terminologies. So yan, dito sa broadcasting, kung ano lang, kung hanggang saan lang yung kayang maabot ng signal or ng frequency, yun lang yung makakarinig or sila lang yung makakarinig kung sino-sino yung nandun sa lugar na yun. So, usually it covers a certain geographic area here in broadcasting. So, dyan sa mga security guards, di ba, meron yung walkie-talkie nila or the two-way radio na ginagamit nila. So, kung hanggang saan lang yung nakakover ng two-way radio nila, yung radyo nila, sila lang yung makakadetect ng message niya. Okay? So, yung niraradyo niya na message. So, kapag hindi abot ng signal, hindi yan maririnig. Okay? Magiging malabo or hindi yan maririnig ng mga ibang kasama niya. Okay? So, that is under broadcasting. And then, next one, we have here the franchise. So, simply, it is the one that serve as a permit in order for those telecommunications company to operate. So, isa na po dito, ang example po natin dyan, yung ABS-CBN, yung nangyari sa kanila. So, hindi sila nabigyan ng franchise, hindi na-renew yung franchise nila, kaya hindi sila makapag-operate. And then, next one, we have here the public telecommunications security, entity. So, we pertains to any person, firm, partnership, or corporation. Take note, it's either government or private-owned. Okay, telecommunication entity. So, paano po natin makonsider yan as public telecommunications entity even though na siya ay privately owned company? So, simply, if it serves the public, okay, so privately owned siya pero yung yung customers or clients niya is the public, still he is considered or it can be considered as a public telecommunication entity. So, popular na po dyan yung National Telecommunications Commission na siya pong namamahala sa mga telecommunication provider or services na meron tayo dito sa Pilipinas and it's pati na rin po sa international telecommunications services provider po natin. Okay, so that is under public telecommunications entity. So now let us proceed to the different types of public telecommunications entity. So meron po tayo dito yung local exchange operator. So take note of the word local, simply means their operation or their area of operation is only here in the Philippines. So, inside the Philippine territory only. So, hindi po yan limited not only to voice-to-voice services, but also it could be on written or printed material. So, nandyan po, an example na meron po tayo dito na nag-ooperate, yun, the Smart Company, okay? Smart Telecommunications, Globe, and other telecommunications provider na meron tayo dito sa Pilipinas. Okay, so nag-ooperate lamang po sila locally. Next one, we have here the so-called inter-exchange carrier. So simply, it is also called sometimes as a carrier's carrier and national backbone network operator. So it was or it pertains to the authorized to install, own, and operate facilities and which connect local exchanges within the Philippines. So simply parang ito po yung front lines ng mga local exchange operator natin or mga branches nila. The autorisado nila to install, okay, to provide those services na meron po sila. Gaya ng mga branches ng Smart natin. Kasi in different places here in the Philippines, meron po yan mga branches, di ba? Hindi po yan centralized or hindi yan isang office. So yun, merong mga branches dyan. So tinatawag natin or we pertain to those branches as the inter-exchange carrier. So take note, inter-exchange or inter, so meaning internal, dito lang sa loob ng Pilipinas pa rin yung parang magagamit nyo yan as a keyword. So yan, inter-exchange carrier, we pertains to the branches. Simply the branches of the local exchange operator, branches ng mga Globe, branches of the PLDT na authorized to install or to provide the services na meron sila. And then next one, we have here the so-called international carrier. Same as to inter-exchange carrier. Yun nga lang, it does not operate only on the Philippines or in the Philippines, but it operates outside the Philippines also. So, yan po yung tinutukoy natin as international carrier. So, it operates outside the Philippines also. Now, let us have here the so-called value-added service provider. So, simply it is or it pertains to the overall or the combination of the previous telecommunications entity that we have mentioned a while ago. So, yun, hindi po limited yung nila. Hindi lang po limited or maliit yung sakop nila, but actually, or hindi lang limited yung mga services na ini-offer nila. But actually, they covers several services. So, halos lahat na ng telecommunication services ay ino-offer nila. So, hindi lang po limited sa voice-to-voice call messages, not only to SMS, but meron na din po dyan yung additional features, okay, especially those wireless carriers na meron tayo. So, nandyan na po yung features ng 911 na parang dun sa US yung ginagamit nila. So, that is an additional kasi hindi po yan communication between or parang not only communication through the between two person, okay, or a private person, but yan is commonly used for emergency services also. So usually itong additional features nito to cover up, okay, to cover up or to cater the emergency situations, okay. So just take note on the value-added service provider, that is the combination or the overall combination of the telecommunications entity na na-mention kanina. So, yan, meron na siyang additional features dyan. And then, next one, we have here the public toll calling station. So, simply ito po yung nakikita nyo sa mga roadways. Okay? So, may mga highways or expressways. So, yun, or mga malapit sa mga kalsada. Okay, so an exclusive facility at which the public may buy at a payment appropriate fees or fees, place as well as receive telephone calls and telegrams or other messages. So yan po yung tinatawag natin as a public toll calling station. Now, let us have here the so-called mobile radio telephone system. So, it is the one that is commonly used by different establishments or different institutions. So, yan, yung mga two-way radios na ginagamit usually ng mga security guards natin. So, it use radio frequencies. So, it is somewhat only, or it covers a very small geographic area. So, hanggang saan lang naabot, kung hanggang saan lang yung naabot ng radio frequency na meron sila, then that could be the only, or that is the limit. Okay? Doon lang maririnig yung mga messages nila. Okay, yung mga nandun sa lugar na yun, sila lang yung makakarinig ng mga messages ng security guards natin. And then, now, let us have here the three essential component of communication security. So, number one, there is the physical security. So, simply, these are the physical measures that we employ in order to secure our communications. So, nowadays, meron na po tayo yung mga advanced technologies that can be used to counter or that serves as anti-recording devices or anti-audio recording devices. So, meron ito sa mga areas wherein sabihin natin sa office mo, ayaw mo na mag-leak yung mga communications mo ng mga tauhan mo. Meron yung mga devices or advanced technologies na pwede mong i-install in order to disturb those recording devices, or that will not allow those recording devices to be activated, and then it will record yung mga pinag-uusapan nyo doon sa loob. So meron pong mga technologies, you can see that in any other or you have seen that in movies, but also in some places that certain kind of technology, anti-recording device, can be, or that is used also, okay, or it that exist nowadays. And then we have here transmission security, result from all measures designed to protect transmission from interception. So, traffic analysis and imitative deception. So, simply nandito po tayo ngayon yung mga need to know basis, okay, kung sino lang yung authorized person na makaalam nun, edi sa kanya lang natin sasabihin yung information. So, or simply these are the methodologies or communication security measures. So, ibig sabihin yan yung mga paraan natin para hindi mag-leak yung mga informations natin. Okay? Not employing physical measures. Okay? Or mga technologies. So, hindi natin ginagamitan ng mga technologies dito actually sa mga transmission security natin. So, security communication protocols actually yung mga to. So, ano pa ba? Paggamit ng passwords. Aside from paggamit ng passwords, meron pang mga iba dyan. Okay? Simply the compartmentation. Need to know basis and others. And then we have here the so-called cryptography security. Nandyan naman po yung art of solving codes or art of using codes dito sa cryptography security. So, we are going to use codes in order to send our messages. So, kung sino lang yung nakakaalam ng mga codes ninyo, then sila lang yung makakapag-decipher or makapag-decode ng mga messages ninyo para makuha nila yung actual or real message na gusto nyong i-emphasize or i-send sa kanila. So, those are the three essential component of communication security. So, number one, just take note, physical security, and then the second one, transmission security, and lastly, the so-called cryptography security. So, that's it for communication security.